It's the Golden Army Show! That's Tias.
And that's Sasha.
And we are live on Idobi Radio. When you listen to the live show, you just get a different vibe, you know? Fuck ups, all the things. They happen. And sometimes you'll hear our new opening that we love. I put it on this computer. You know, live radio. It's crazy. That we are live on a Monday. Find us everywhere on everywhere that you can look. Instagram's not doing so bad, I guess, lately. We're fine.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Yeah, we're doing all right. YouTube is probably a really good place to look. And Spotify, now we are posting our videos on there. So if you are a subscriber or a listener through Spotify, you can enjoy our content over there. And also, namely, mostly, and most importantly, we're on Idobi Radio. And we love Idobi Radio very, very much with our whole hearts. Thank you, Idobi, for letting us do this. Thank you for being a part of our lives for so long. You are objectively the best part of our lives in every way. And, you know, I dedicate my love and my life to you, Idobi. No, I do love Idobi. We both love Idobi.
Yes.
You're rocking the Pornhub Idobi shirt.
Thank you, Idobi Radio.
And I'm rocking our merch, which was the next thing I was going to say. Our merch is still live. I need a new shirt. I've had this for a while, and I put it through many washes, and it's getting a little...
It's still holding up.
It is holding up. It's very good quality. But I have been wearing it a ton. And this is how my niece identifies me, because my sister shows her a picture of me every night. And when my dad stays there, when my dad wears the shirt, she always points to this, and he'll go, "It's Auntie Jojo," and then she'll point to this and be like, "And Uncle Tias." So these are very important. these shirts and these logos. What's our merch?
It's Cool Nerd Weed Show.
Yeah.
Big Cartel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and look out for the fall releases.
Yeah. We like to put out little limited editions, and it just, you know, it's whatever. It's like Halloween, basically. We don't need to pretend like it's not. So
I've seen Halloween decorations out already.
Why not?
In these streets.
Why the fuck not? What are we waiting for, honestly? Like, I don't even care. And I never really cared about, like, celebrating things too early. I don't care if you put your goddamn Christmas tree up right now. What the fuck do I care? You know?
I know someone who never takes her Christmas tree down.
That's beautiful. Let that person live a life full of 365 days of lights. Speaking of burning trees, what did we smoke before this, honestly, though?
Oh, that was the Big Pharma flower.
Oh, it was good.
Big Pharma, that was Studio 54. A newer strain. I think that was the one of the hits of the bunch that I tried. That Studio 54.
I liked it. It was good.
It's tasty, right?
Yeah, it was really
it's like
nice.
Good, up, energetic, sort of high.
It was, I guess, what one would traditionally know as a sativa.
Yeah, I think there's some sativa dom. Maybe hence the Studio 54 name.
Oh, like another thing that makes you feel like you have energy that was consumed in Studio 54. I see.
Gives you wings.
Yeah. Well, good. It was nice. It was good, and I liked it. So, okay. A word of warning, as I've been doing before these last few shows. It's not to, like, steer you away or anything. It's just so you know. It's election season here on this side of the world, in this country, and it's a very important and big one. And people may say this all the time, but and it is always important. It's always fucking important to save our democracy and to vote, because that's like the whole thing about this country is that we could do that, and we all get to do that, except for people who are in jail for weed. But we'll get to all of that coming up. But please vote. Idobi.com has places to vote, and so before I before we get all crazy, you can find resources to vote. Make sure you're registered. I did. I'm registered. I'm Gucci. I'm gold. I will be mailing in my ballot as soon as I get it. And we will be hopefully a surviving country after this election. But it is very important. So we're going to talk about it. And we might get spirited sometimes. And we do tend to lean a certain way. And, not all potheads do.
This is true.
A good chunk of weedies are right wingers. This is just a factual. I've smoked weed. I've broken breads and blunts with quite a few Republicans. Yay! It's great.
It's probably the only thing we agree
unifier.
on.
Yeah, it's a great unifier. And if you can agree on one thing and it's weed, well, that's lovely. And I can't take that away. But sometimes when we talk about things, I just like to put a little disclaimer on it that it's going to be like probably a political show. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff in the first half of the show that pertains to our politicians in office and our policy on weed. And we don't want to bash anyone per se, and we won't. And if we do, you could call us in. We don't want to be bashing. We get spirited. You're mad. But of course you have the right to vote. And that's the good thing. That's why you got to go do it. Is because if you feel like we're wrong in what we're saying, you can change the outcome of the thing. So go do it. That was my disclaimer. We might say things that are spirited, but bottom line, go vote.
Yeah, we have been getting a little bit of hate mail.
Yeah, couple comments here and there saying that we do tend to criticize
certain parties.
Yeah. Which I would argue that we were pretty tough on young Joe Biden.
Absolutely.
For the last 4 years. We weren't. You can find a lot of complaints from us.
And Kamala Harris as well.
We have a couple shows dedicated to what we wished Kamala would have done when she was in office. And while we understand that vice presidents only have a certain amount of abilities and there are other things going on, we can only hope that when she's learned. She's clearly different than when she was in terms of like how she sees weed policy. It was different when she was here in California. It wasn't seen like it is now. That's for goddamn sure. So with our change, like, she will change. That's what good people do. Is they learn from, they only have the information they have. She only had what she had. So that's what she had to do. Now she sees, oh wait, that was completely insane. Let's rethink this whole thing. And I think that's all I wanted to hear really from her. And I'm satisfied. Like,
yeah,
like
we're back on board.
Yeah, I'm
we're
totally
on board.
Stoked. Yeah, because I know what she's going to do, and I know she's going to do the right thing. We already know that Joe Biden's going to reschedule. I think weed was so low on his priority list this year that when it finally did come up, I think he was just like, yeah. I don't know why. I feel like he put no. He's just like, okay, fine, yes, no criminals and like whatever. That's how I feel like Joe Biden was looking at the weed issue. Like, it was on his desk and he was like, do you know like what's happening outside in the world? Like, are you aware it's an election year? So glad he's going to reschedule. Of course, we would want it off the scheduling. But now we do still have it left up to states, and it's on a few ballots in this election. Few states, couple states.
Yeah, several states.
Yeah.
One is Florida.
Yes, one is Florida.
One is Florida where, let's see. For all of you GOP lovers out there, this one's for you.
Cozy up. Light up a joint. And listen to Right Wing Cool Nerd Weed Show Radio. Can you imagine? We just flip a switch. Or Sean Hannity. Stoner Sean Hannity. Oh, God.
Let's see.
That's as far as I can go without actually throwing up on the air for bombing.
The thought of that just like
maybe a little
tracks.
sick. Yeah, I felt a little nauseous. We just want to say that
Donald Trump is backing federal marijuana rescheduling and banking access and has come out in favor of Florida's Amendment 3.
Mm-hmm. Now, just a little question. Just like a little quick question. Just want to slide in here. Just want to ask a little question.
Yes.
Who said it? Who said that Donald Trump was going to be for weed? Who was it?
Who? That was you, Sasha. You said
I did.
that Donald Trump was going to be the one that legalizes cannabis.
Not for the right reasons, but I knew that he would do it.
But eventually he would do it, and you said he would do it. So, okay, with all of that being said, yes, you did say that, but are you predicting that with this move of pro-cannabis, Donald Trump will be our next president?
Oh, God. Please, God, no. 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 Oh, my God, no.
So then your prediction,
yes.
your
Sasha
predicts
Sasha Damas has arrived. And ignore my panic just there. I've got it all down. I've got my predictions down. Donald Trump will not win this election. His incompetence on the actual issues will shine through, and we will know it is pandering. He's just pandering, and that's what we said when we talked about it the last time. We talked about each president's stance on weed, and I did say this, but it wasn't in the way like, yeah, that's my never, ever, because A of all, I know he's only doing it for those monies. Like, that is it. Done 100%. And B of all, when I was saying it because I knew, like, I just knew it was going to be a gross.
It's like the dollars and cents of it all.
Yeah.
It's all about the monies with Donald Trump.
Not because it's the right thing to do. And, like, there's no way in no world, none, that you can convince me that he is pro-weed. There is not any fucking way that you can convince me he is pro-weed. Now, I'm not inside that fucking brain. I'm refraining from words. I don't know what goes on in Trump's peanut. I imagine it's like Cartman's brain.
Well, let's we may not be able to get inside of that orange brain.
I don't want to.
However, Donald Trump did meet with the CEO of the Trulieve Corporation.
Oh.
Prior to making this announcement.
Okay.
So,
well, there you have it then, right there in front of your face. We've talked about Trulieve extensively. If you have any like attachment to weed kind of in general, you probably know what Trulieve is. If you live in a state that has just gone legal, Trulieve is probably in your state. It is big box weed. It is a chain. It's big corporate weed. When you hear us gripe about the industry, we're complaining about Trulieve straight the fuck up, and some other ones that we name. Like, there's no, I don't care what they do for the cause. It's not enough. It's not.
Not at all.
If Trulieve didn't exist, we would be better for it. It's
yeah, they
it's
want a
bad
monopoly.
weed. It's not even good weed.
On top of it, like the product. At the end of the day, if they were actually providing jobs and providing a decent product,
of course,
but they're not.
And
Truly.
we've seen how these big, like, chain corporation cannabis companies work, and it's not about getting your local fucking farmer to thrive, and we know this because we know that Trulieve and your boy Ron DeSantis, Repubs, your boy Ronnie, like, he was in with a lot of these farmers, or like one or two, I should say, that were working with, the lobby. Like, there was like all these like weird interconnecting circles.
Like family members received some of the only cultivation permits because you had to have like at least 18 years of running a nursery experience
Right. So
to get a cultivation license.
it was almost impossible, and it was clearly it was clearly, an exception for somebody that he knew. So again, I don't even know why he's against it right now, but like you can't convince me that this is not for any other reason than for making money blindly. And I would like to, and we can intercut with the Trump stuff too, but I would like to talk about the actual bill, because you told me stuff today that like made me, if you haven't seen Beetlejuice yet, like when his eyeballs pop out of his head and like his tongue gets all like out of his face, that's what I did when you told me this.
Yes, with Amendment 3 is the amendment that you're going to be voting on in Florida.
Yeah.
To legalize cannabis for adult use or not.
And True Leave is supporting this amendment.
True Leave,
they're backing it by 75.
Oh yeah, they've got their paws all up in this. This
Mm-hmm.
bill was written for and by big corporate cannabis.
Yes.
And some of the the nuts and bolts that are in there are let's see. Okay, everything. Number one, there's no homegrown cultivation,
which we always hate.
Is always.
But like, is it New York and I forget which state. It's like
New York.
one of
You
my
can
states.
grow. I don't think you can
it's
grow
Jersey
in
then.
New Jersey.
Yeah, I think it's Jersey. They had a cultivation law. That might be changing though. Actually, I don't know, but it was. A lot of states do have this, and this is always a bad sign because they don't want you to grow your own medicine. They don't want you to have access to it that they can't sell to you. And like, if you just cap at how many plants you can grow, you can obviously very easily curb the black market. When people are growing in their houses, they're growing for themselves and their friends, and they want to be excited about getting little beautiful buds.
Six plants is all you need.
That's all you need. And that's all people want. So stupid. So you can't grow in your own. You can't grow your own.
Anything that's not in a state authorized cannabis package would result in you being a felon.
So
being arrested for a felony. This
is huge, and this is important to talk about. So you're saying that and now when we were Prop D, we used to say like, don't take your weed out of the bag or out of the whatever before you get home, or like in the parking lot. And that was because we didn't want you to get into any trouble or whatever. And it was really like Wild West back then. So like we used to encourage that. Like it wasn't, but it was also like when you were getting stopped for like weed or whatever, that's just something that they could like tack on to whatever. Like it wasn't in its packaging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like out here it was never a thing. You don't have a receipt. We used to say put it in the trunk of your car. Like there were things that did come out with Prop D, but that was because it was illegal. I mean, it was medicinal, and it was, and it was really difficult back then. It was like reefer madness. People were getting arrested for having something that was legal, and it felt crazy when it was happening. So that wasn't a thing anymore, and isn't a thing anymore. And I don't know of any other states that do this. Do you? If anybody knows, I mean, we should know this, but I don't think any other state is doing this.
I mean, I think they're just treating all cannabis as cannabis. Like, if in a legal state,
if
they're
you're
not going to
in
check
a legal
on
state and you get a felony charge for a substance that is legal, that's crazy.
It's fucked up. That's fucked up. So that's in there. That's mixed into Amendment 3. One of the other.
So then you're not even standing. Sorry. So then you're not even standing by the notion, because Donald Trump did say this. Well, I don't even know what the fuck he said, but he did. I mean, he did say, something about like needless arrest and incarcerations. Like he was saying the same kind of thing that like Kamala said, like, or Joe, people should be in jail. Like he kind of like alluded to that, whatever, in his Trump language. Then you don't mean that. If your whole thing is that you don't want people bringing outside weed into your state, because that's basically it. It's basically just we want to be able to be the only persons that can sell you weed.
Yeah, that's the monopoly part of this. But
Right.
then there's like the criminality of kind of
A felony.
criminalizing something that's legal.
Please read this amendment. I'm begging you, if you're voting on it, I really want you to read it, and I really want you to understand what you're voting on. That's why we're talking about this, because it just sounds. I want so badly for Florida to have safe access and to be able to get weed at, the drop of a hat. I want you to be able to go into your car and drive to your local dispensary and pick up some weeds and smoke it. I want that so bad for you, but I personally am like horrified at the notion that something that is legal can become a felony for you if you are if you just put your weed in like a jar that like you like to keep your weed in, and you're, you know what I mean, that you're or whatever,
You got, like, your
or
favorite
you're coming from a legal state. Listen, we do not fly with weed, do not travel with weed, but if one did and one was going to a legal state, one would say to oneself, okay, I'm going to a legal state, so you know what, worst case scenario, I just get rid of it at the airport. No big whoop, no big deal. I'm not arrested. Everybody knows, and we are not encouraging this. We're just saying we've seen it on the internet. So that can happen, and not in Florida though. If you happen to live in a legal state and maybe you just have an edible in your pocket, it may be a felony. Like, that's BANANAS.
Yeah, if you show up with a little California little warning sticker on your vape, felony. No
Okay,
good.
sorry.
No good. So, on top of that, they are, the people that are sponsoring this, True Leave. It helps them to create and keep a hold on their monopoly in the state of Florida.
Which they already have for medicinal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, they're poised because the first licenses are going to go to the medical operations that are opening already, and True Leave is a lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
it's not going to support small businesses or anything like that. So
not at all.
So no social equity, I'm assuming. Like, that's like not even a thought, probably.
I don't think we've found the social equity inside of Amendment 3.
No, we keep looking.
This is this is interesting too, because it is a constitutional amendment to the Florida's Constitution, that it would, the people that are actually against this say that it would be harder to, once this is in the Constitution, it's harder to change. It'll be harder to change
right.
the law.
Right. So this is so
And tweak
important. This is so important. This is like, it's so difficult to change these once they're in. So voting on this means that you're probably not going to get to vote on it.
It's going to be locked in.
Right.
If it passes.
If it passes. If not, you can just like take it, put that thing down, flip it and reverse it, maybe tweak it a little bit, get a little bit better legislation in there, maybe take out the whole felony thing. Maybe we can get to a place where this is a passable, nice-looking cannabis reform. But as of right now, for the industry and for cannabis users, this looks like mad detrimental. Like, this looks like butts to me. If I were going to give my scholared opinion. I say farts to this.
It is.
This is farts.
Anathema. Upon you, Amendment 3 for Florida. Do what you want.
Sure,
I don't
course.
think this is Florida's last chance. If it doesn't pass, hopefully it will get another chance at it. People that are coming out against it are like Ron DeSantis and Matt Gaetz.
And just like on the record, we're not agreeing. Like, just plainly stated, we don't like this one. And if we were Floridians, we would not vote for this. We did not vote for Prop 64.
Prop 64 in California. No, we did not. We discouraged people that came into the shop to vote against it.
We did. People asked, and we said, please don't. And it passed very, very narrowly. narrowly.
Yes.
Yeah, narrowly.
By a slim
Sounds funny
margin.
when you say it. That's a better way to say it. No, it did. It was not a lot because we in the industry and a dust particle is in my throat. And we in the industry, and that's what makes up a lot of California's people in the weed industry. We didn't like it. There wasn't a lot of things that we liked, and we did see the fallout from it. It did, but we also saw a lot of good come from it as well. And we navigated it, and it was navigatable. This is not.
No.
This is not.
No. Amendment 3 in Florida is not. It's a constitutional amendment. It is like going to be written into the Constitution, which is almost like writing it in stone. So it will take another act of Floridian Congress to like actually change those things that are in there right now.
Dang it. I'm so sorry, Florida. This is tough. This is a tough nut to swallow. No, it's it is. It's a tough nut to crack because I, while with my whole heart, want you to be able to have weed in our nerd philosophies and core roots and mission statements. You will just not. You just won't find us liking any part of this other than that it's legal for you, but it's kind of not. Like,
it's very restrictive.
Yeah.
And if they have their way, you're probably not going to be able to smoke anywhere.
Yeah.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the anti-cannabis movement in Florida is like, they're really playing up the stank of it all.
Yeah. Also on the ballot is abortion and rights. And this is a big one. This is a very big one, Florida. And I, literally pray every day that the rights to our bodies are returned to us. So these are important elections. These are important things that you are going to be voting on. Again, the abortion rights are on the same, it's an amendment. It's going to be in your Constitution. If you, and I also would like you to proceed with caution. Now, just to say both sides, the Harris campaign, I think, responded to Trump's I vote yes on Amendment 3. They were like, sure, Jan. They were like, no, I don't think he does. He's actually shown he's a very, very deep history in reversing rights and taking away medical marijuana rights and just has a record of not liking weed.
During the Trump administration, they rescinded all of the Obama era protections for cannabis.
Yeah, we have a lot of shows about it. We weren't happy about that. It was basically like recriminalizing the drug, and that is what he did. And it wasn't just vibes. It wasn't just stigma, which is bad enough, by the way. It was actual reverse reform. Why would we want to go backwards? You nut jobs. Sorry, that's not nice. Stop. Oh my God, you're not nut jobs. You're very, very wonderful. But I don't want to go backwards. And Trump has shown a history of going backwards. Maybe nut job was too harsh. But the truth is that these are things that he factually did and said. And the Harris campaign is saying this is pandering. Please be cautious when you hear Trump say he is opposed to a 6-week ban on abortions. He literally just said he was like proud of getting Roe v. Wade reversed. Keep that in mind. Please, because Florida, you will not be able to go back. And I worry for you, Florida, because I likes you. I mean, we've got family in Florida.
Yeah, I want to be able to go to Florida.
We like Florida.
And pick up some cannabis without being hassled.
No, I don't want to be hassled. I want to feel like I'm part of something bigger and like I'm part of a big change. Going to buy weed that might get me in trouble doesn't make me feel like it's changed. It feels like I might as well, you know what I mean? How are you encouraging the legal market by doing this?
You're not at all. You're encouraging corporate cannabis.
But, I feel like if it's passed, like, I don't know if I'll feel disappointed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, while I really hate everything about this, everything, the fact that Trump even likes it makes me hate it. But if it passes, I don't want to be like, oh, man, because I do want to be like, well, at least they get some weed.
Trump's endorsement made me feel a little bit slimy about cannabis in Florida.
Yeah.
When Trump gives you the thumbs up on anything,
you should know it's it's gross, whatever it is. And it benefits him, benefits big corporations. Like, of course he's gonna like it.
Like you were saying, if it does pass,
mm-hmm.
we'll probably be excited to go down there.
Hell
and
yeah!
See what's actually happening.
Hell to the yeah! I'll be excited for you to work at a dispensary, you Floridian. I'll be excited to legally get... I need to know where I can smoke it because it's probably just going to be in a private residence, which is fine. It's what it is out here, technically. I'm sure there'll be some restrictive laws. Ron DeSantis doesn't want to smell it. That's like what he says about it all the time. It's going to smell like weed everywhere.
Oh, yeah. It's going to smell like one of those liberal states.
Yes. Yes. It will. I mean, it won't. It won't. You'll be fine. And it will be a cool thing for Florida to be able to legally access weed. So I don't want to say I'll be sad if it does pass, but I also have to, say wholeheartedly it sucks the way it's done. And it sucks because they have you in a chokehold. They know you want weed, and they know it's important and it helps, but they also know how to make it a monopoly and make the monies. And that's just so gross. We should know better as a society. It's just crappy. And we don't want weed to be ruined.
I want mad commercial trees.
Yeah, it's not even going to be good weed, just so you know. It's not this weed is not good weed. It's going to be crappy mass-produced weed, state-run weed, like we said before, and it's mid at best.
Actually, mid's truly terrible flower.
So bad.
However, if the Jungle Boys survive down there, that is hope for Florida cannabis.
Well, will they?
They're down there now as medical. So if they get one of the licenses,
well, I guess that's what it comes down to.
They would be down there.
Yeah, we'd be super down with that. That's great. That's so cool. I hope that it goes the right way. For what it's meant to happen will happen. I don't...
Florida, the decision is yours.
Yeah, just whatever you do, whatever you decide on, truly, madly, deeply. We love you either way, and we beg you to go vote. Just go do it.
Yeah, register to vote.
You have to.
Vote.org.
Yeah, in idobi, we have a bunch of places on idobi.com that you can am I registered? What happens if I need to fucking mail in it? Whatever you need to do. It's so easy to vote at this time in histories. So please do it. Please. Oh my God, we talked about Florida and I didn't even take a break. I was so fired up. So we are going to end on a good note here in California. This is something I love so much. I love this.
Yeah, this is some of the best news in cannabis we've had
in California.
In a long time.
I feel like it's been a real dry spell for us getting any dubs here in California. It's been kind of but I gotta say, just looking at it from the outside in, we've really, I feel like the weed industry in California is kind of showing up, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people who were either put out of work or were climbing from the bottom are finally maybe getting to where they needed to be. like, let's just say, like, you, for example, like, you got laid off, as we publicly stated, whenever it was, a month and change, no, 2 months ago, whatever it was. But, like, you immediately found a job. And I think that's, like, that wasn't always the case. You know, like, if you, like, left your weed job, sometimes it would take you a second. Usually you get hired right away, but not you. I mean, the royal you, but also you.
I was out of work for a long time. There was a dry spell.
Sure. And now it's not like that. Now there's a lot of places of all different shapes and sizes. There's your big weeds, which actually, you know, that kind of didn't go well for big weed either. Now you still have the ones that we don't like, that we're very public about, that we don't like. But a thing like MedMen, you can't do it. You can't do something like that. It's not going to work when you don't have, like, real monies or real weed or anything to, like, show for it. You know, weed has actual, like, consumers, supplies, and demands, and MedMen couldn't get out of their own way with how corporate and greedy they became. So that kind of went away a little bit.
Yeah, the tree, there was a little shakeup in the tree.
There was.
And the people that are still left, you know, shops closed, new shops open. Some are thriving.
Yes.
For the right way. But California has finally done something for the smaller cultivator.
Yeah. So this is fun. This is really, really fun. Small cultivators who are kind of like growing to market. You know, they're growing to sell, right? These cultivators. They're legally growing.
Yeah, and some of them, you know, you want to, are having a hard time moving their products.
And that was really the problem. That was the problem. Was it New York? I keep
that was. Okay. It was in New York. You know,
there was a couple states there.
There wasn't enough.
Nobody
enough
had licenses.
Shops. There was no licenses.
Yeah, there was a holdup.
They were told to grow and grow and grow. So there is a surplus of cannabis in California, and a good way to help out the smaller cultivator is to open up these farmers markets, and so you can get. There will be state sanctioned, probably permitted areas where you can buy your cannabis direct from the cultivator.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So, like, yeah, that's awesome. So there could be a world in which you go to a state farmer's market in California and go get your strawberries and your fresh baked bread and your tomatoes and go get some weeds, straight farm to table type. I love that. I really, really love that. I really hope to see that.
I would love to see that as well. I mean, there was a brief farmer's market during the medical cannabis days.
There was?
It happened once. And it was shut down. Like, immediately.
Oh, man.
But people waited in line, like, you know, like it was 420. And all of these cultivators, I've met a lot of people that day. All these cultivators were just selling direct to the patient.
That's awesome. That's, like, sick. Now, there's a lot of things that, like, have to happen. Because the thing is with weed, like, there always has to be, well, you know, I guess for better or for worse, there has to be regulation. You know, like, there has to be proper, that's why it got shut down, probably that place is because, like, you need to have the legal amount of things happening, like ventilations and employers and employees and you know, and like there's like guidelines to follow when you do those things. So basically, like, they have to put that in the bill. Like, it's not ready yet. I think it's still being baked.
Yeah, it's cleared most of its hurdles. It just needs like one more. But we're getting closer. But they're still working on it. And
I think also in the same breath, and I think this is probably, it goes hand in hand. I think I don't know if this is in the same article. I'm going off script here, but I think California also has lounges.
Yes.
For
within this this bill.
Yeah.
Cannabis cafes are
makes sense.
Like California wide right now. the only cafes that are here in LA are in West Hollywood.
Yeah, there's a couple. You know what's crazy? We haven't been to any. Like, what are we, too good? What
I
are we
know,
thinking? What are we doing?
Like since the pre-pandemic.
We have not been to a cannabis lounge. We haven't. I mean, we went to like the one actually in New York. Weirdly enough, we went to Stoned, and then I think did we do one? I thought we did another one.
We went to that the one that was for religious purposes.
Yes, the one. Yeah, because they had to shut it down, Avi. But since like post pandemic, I can't find a reason. But I guess we were pretty skeeved out by.
Well, we spent like pre-shutdown in the cannabis cafe.
Like the day before shutdown.
The day before shutdown, and everybody was coughing.
And this is why every time I say to TS, I'm like, why haven't we been to either cannabis cafe that we know is open? A of all, they're very expensive. And B of all, he was like, let me remind you, everybody was fucking phlegmy coughing all over their bongs that we were sharing, and like it was gross and wet, and it was raining, and the whole world was sick. And it was an awful experience. And I was like, facts. Like, it was pretty bad. But it wasn't like that always. But it kind of, like, opened our eyes to some things. Because we really glamorized these cannabis cafes.
We did, for sure.
We were like, this is fucking... Because it was awesome for a second. I brought my mom. It was awesome.
Were bringing out the Stoughton glass.
Yeah. It helps to, like, know people. But, like... but, yeah. It was cool. It just felt weird for a second, and I don't know if we've shaken that. It's a personal thing. There's nothing to do with these establishments. I'm sure they're lovely, but we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then like we were like, no, we'll schedule. And then we were like, yeah, no, and like we can't like commit to going to either. There's two, right?
There's two. Yeah, two. There's like the Artistry and then the Woods.
The Woods. I think Fish has been to both of them. I think he gives them decent reviews. I can't remember.
I applied at one of them.
Oh.
I actually interviewed.
Where?
The Artistry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I would have been excited for you. It would have probably been stressful. They're stressful. It looks
very
stressful. I interviewed for Lowell's. I was going to do it. And, oh, my God.
Yeah.
When we went that night, I was like, oh, my God, no. I will sell my feet on the fucking internet before I ever work.
It was raining, so everybody was indoors.
Everybody was cranky.
It was a weird
night. And I was like, I don't want to be a waitress I was like, bud tender all day. I will bud tend the shit out of you. But waitress, I fucking hate. I hate being a waitress. I hate it so much. And I did it for a long time. And I was like, I could do it again. And what'll make it better is the weed. The weed will make it better. I'll be able to talk about weed more than like take people's orders. Like the food is incidental. People want weed. And quickly I realized that that's like not it either. And people get really fucked up and people are like passing out and like throwing up. So like, that's just not my vibe. You know what I'm saying? In my workplace. But if you can do it, you are angels among men, and I appreciate everything that you do. I just thought I could do it again, and when we went that night again, I was reminded I'll do something else. I'll bud tend, please.
I remember when you made that choice. It was clear.
I was like, whoa. I think it was because it was that night. We were like, again, it was nothing against these establishments. These are personal things. There's no reason for this. So we'll go to these new popped up places.
We're
just being little bitches.
Yeah, this bill opens up other possibilities though, like temporary licenses at like shows, other outdoor venues, you know. Maybe they get a permit at the Hollywood Bowl up top. I don't know. Just things like that. All the possibilities.
True. Yeah, like you can set up next to the bacon hot dog vendor outside the Staples Center. That would be sick! Oh my God! No, that would be awesome. Weed should be available that way. You should be able to grow your weed and be able to sell it to people who want to buy it earnestly and legally. And that weed, I can bet, is going to be really good. That you buy at the farmer's market.
Yeah, it's going to be fresh. You're going to get to talk to the cultivators, the people that trim it, the people that love it, they're going to be there. You can ask all the questions. They're going to show you pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be good to see. I know a lot of people have been, like, a lot of dispensaries I go to, they're like, we're opening a lounge soon. I'm like, okay. Like, I feel like the one dispensary said that to me, like, 3 years ago. But, like, you know, it's difficult. It's really hard. There's, like, gray areas. It's not easy to do. So that's why I'm always like, good luck.
I don't really, unless you are, like, one of those top ones in West Hollywood that charges crazy just to sit at the table for a cabana. Like, how do you make your rent other than, like, charging me $750 for the cabana?
It's just the two of us.
With all the bongs I want to use.
Yeah, it looks really lit, but, like, yeah, there's some things that they can iron out. And, you know, maybe this will help. This whole thing. Cannabis cafes, farmers market weed, can start moving weeds at a good pace. Oh, my gosh, I forgot to play the final. I mean, this was a puff, I guess, but I just had to play it because it's my favorite thing. And this was our final Huff and Puff. We want to end on a good note, and this is a very good note. We believe this will get through. It looks like just, has that one little thing to go through. Has to go back to, like, whatever governmental.
Yeah, it goes back to it, and they already passed it once. So
yeah, I think they're down. There's just a couple things that needed to be put in there that I actually agree that needed to be put in there. I think you got to figure out consumption. I do. That's why I was like, I don't want to work in a cannabis cafe, because it seemed like it was some like a sort of like, we need to figure out this balance of things so everybody can be happy and comfortable, including the people that work here and the people that patron here. And it was until it wasn't. Like, it was great until, like, they couldn't keep up with it, I think.
You have to be okay working in an environment where people are smoking, so you got to sign off on that.
Yeah.
There's, like, the health department that handles the food.
Yeah, and I think that's where they're ironing stuff out. I think they're, like, finally like, okay, well, I think when they first, went up, they were like, well, we'll handle it like this or that. So, I think
that's
this is
why
a good step.
You'd only see it in, like, cities that were brave enough to actually attempt it, like West Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're always ahead of the curve.
Yeah, and it works out. It's just there's a lot of like when you like open a restaurant alone. Forget adding like a controlled like legal illegal substance into the mix,
Going to like the cannabis supper club.
Right.
Private events.
Yeah, those are great. We should go to one soon.
Yeah, I was just thinking about
that. Yeah, so good things in the view for California. Florida, I wish you luck. We will talk about this more because it's not even it's close to election, but like I'm like, oh god, we have like in this point in time, you will probably be listening to this after the debate. I should have said this before the show too. We have not seen the debate. I don't know what's going to happen, if anything weird's going to be said by anybody. So just so you know, we haven't heard it yet. Next show we'll probably be talking about it. But maybe they'll bring this up.
I think now that Donald Trump has actually said something, they're going to bring it up.
Likely, yeah. Vice President Harris already has it. She was there already. And I do believe, with my whole ass heart, that like, if the best marijuana interests are with Kamala Harris. I mean I'm not trying to.
100%.
While I did believe that Donald Trump would legalize it or be in favor of legalizing it in some way, I knew it was not for the right reasons. It wasn't a faith in humanity moment. It was more of that motherfucker is gonna take this and make it gross, and he did. So, well, in our opinion, but and it hasn't passed yet. Things are in the future, so we can all vote and make a difference. And that's the moral of this story. And California was able to get here, and that's freaking great. I don't know that I would be able to tell you that we were gonna
N-
have weed at farmers markets 6 years ago.
No. We this is California's evolution in
Oh.
the cannabis industry.
Oh.
So evolution is possible.
Woo!
California, Uber alles.
Liberales. Yes, I am down. We should end the show. Let's stop talking.
But I just like talking to you.
I just like talking to you. And we like talking to you. Thank you, Florida, for everything. Thank you, California, for everything. Thank you to idobi for everything. Please keep your eyes locked on idobi.com. There's a ton of good stuff there. Ton of good stuff coming up. Ton of good stuff that the Cool Nerd Weed Show is a part of and that we're doing. Always go to our YouTube. We have really fun content that is finally on there that you can just watch. Don't have to worry about it being shadow banned. Subscribe, smash, whatever, the likes. You know what I mean. Do that and love us because we love you. And
Don't panic.
it's organic.